G'day all and welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat and this is my Knackers Yard. A later start than I would normally do. Today is Valentine's Day. I consider myself a brave man but not a foolish man, so I haven't abandoned the missus to go and play with bikes. Well, till now. So not completely, till now. So what am I doing? If you remember, I do want to polish this to the same sort of level that all the other stuff has gone to. Look at that, I'm still really impressed with that mother stuff, it's great. So I've dropped the oil out of it, that's been draining, obviously warmed up the engine first. As I've taken this off before, I kind of know how to do, I do know how to do this. It means the exhaust has got to come off because you can't get the brake pedal off without doing it. Brake off, peg off, kick off and off. So I'm going to get on with that. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but we shall see in the time that I've got. Other stuff going on the bike itself. There is a slight leak from the carb manifolds. It's only tiny, it doesn't really bother me, but I've managed to source some decent ones for decent money, so they should be here next week at some point. I haven't really shown this much, but I'm not sure how much I can actually show you now because it's on the other side and I don't really want to move it. But the centre stand is fine on this bike, absolutely fine, but it is missing on the other side, obviously. And so it is, ow, that spring's good. So there is a section here on the other side and it should have a stem coming out like that, which means that you can put your foot on it and open it out. Now it didn't have one when it arrived. It had snapped off a while ago, certainly not in the previous owner's time. So what I have been doing to put it on the centre stand is just jamming something through this on this side or on the other and hoiking it that way, which is fine when you're working in a garage at home, but not once, not for sale or resale and all that. So I ordered one last night. That's slightly the long pole in the tent because that's going to take a few weeks to come across because that's from the US. So that's probably the last big bit to go on it. Other new news is it's sold. I haven't even finished it and it's sold, which is a first on me. So Steve, the guy that bought my, our, I suppose, ZL600 from Charlie, the Eliminator, just got with me and said, yeah, really interested. So we've agreed a sale on it. It's going to need to wait until all that's done. So I'm really happy. I'm just tinkering. So what? Well, I'm now erring more towards and not bothering to MOT it because legally it doesn't need one, and I was only doing it for sellability and to make it more attractive. I don't really need to put any more attractiveness on it because it's got a sale agreed, so I'm probably not going to bother, but it doesn't mean that I've not got a fair amount of tarting up left to do. So I'll do the side today. Over the week I wanted to get a decent look at these clocks. So the rubber around the top of the clocks has perished over time, and it's how I replace it, and it looks like I'm going to be using like door trim stuff, which seems to be on the website as the accepted practice. A lot of people just wrap black tape around it, but that's too nasty for me, I think. Electrical tape or electrician's tape. So to get some like door trim and just wedge that round a little bit, just to weather tight it a little bit, so you can see it's got room to have it there. And obviously once you've got it open like this, it's fine here because I'm in a garage and the bike's garaged every night, but that will fill up with water and it will trash the rev counter, which isn't good. So that's going to be the next thing. While I'm doing that, it's just a bit of a tart up and a smarten up of the front edge. As one piece, working my way back, going to have to clean out the other bits that I'm not polishing, but that's, you know, like a minute's job. And then I'm going to have a go at tidying up the back and tarting up the back. Now, it's a 40-year-old bike. There is the odd bit and piece on it. I'll have to see if I can sort of push and pop. But under the dirt, the actual chrome is really good. There's no real pitting in it at all, which is quite impressive for a bike of this age. And obviously tidy up the rear suspension as well. Again, it's just cleaning. The big bit that I want to do though is to take the back wheel off and just really have a good polish at it, so you can see where it was stationary. It's a little bit rusted, but if you can see me removing it with my finger, it's only flash rust, so it's not, there's nothing structural within there as well, so I just need to polish it and get it out. I'm just rubbing it with my Mark 1 finger and it's just falling away, so it just needs a clean. It just needs a clean. Yeah, so that'll do. Right, I'm going to get these side bits off and get that side casing off. Cheers all. Okay, and there we go, that's the side off again. I think that's the 4th time I've had it off, and not bad for a first attempt. I'm not going to rub this down. It's just too much functional on this side and too much foot movement, so I could quite happily rub this down and get some of the noise, some of the scratches out, the deeper ones, but the pedal's just going to hit it again, so there's kind of not a great deal of point. So what I'm going to is really just beautifying up. Yeah, so now it's getting there. Because it's an awkward shape, I've had to get the mop out on the other side. I can't quite see what I'm doing, the light isn't good enough out here, so I'm going to knock it on the head, because I don't want to cock it up at this point, but just as an indicator of what's possible within a few minutes. That's rather cool. Right, it's Valentine's, I'm not going to neglect everyone too much. That is pretty though, isn't it? So I'm going to drag the bike back in, knock it on the head, and I'm going to do this in some daylight. I can't do it in this sort of weather. There you go. It's kind of twilighty out there. Yeah, so more to follow on the XS as I get her ready for their next owner. So yeah, tomorrow, maybe the day after, because I am off work next week, which is nice for half term, but that doesn't mean that I can completely neglect my kids. Yeah, so I'm going to do a bit more, including get this back on, get oil back in, or get it oiled up I should say, get everything back on, and then I really want to have a look at these, the instruments, the dials, the clocks, whatever you want to call them, just to get them squared away and watertight. And then it's really a case of continuing the motion of the cleaning back particularly, and I really am quite looking forward to it, having a good dig on that butt wheel. I want to check out the drum brake as well and just get that looking hunky-dory. Cool, catch you all later. Ta-da. Happy Valentine's.